A lot of feedback in the last week on Hail Marys.
Yeah. Obviously, with my last name and being around Christmas time, I feel like a little bit of added attention brought to the situation. So it's been good.
Kyle, you've obviously been in the news, Man of the Year nominee, all the charity work you've done, and now you've had some good games lately on the field. How tough is it to kind of, maybe especially on the holidays, balance on and off the field for you? Everything you do in the community?
It's not very hard. That's what Tuesdays are for. Tuesdays give us an opportunity to get out in the community and do as much good as we can. And I feel like I've played pretty well all year, so I try to manage that, not just lately. So my routine hasn't changed all year. So just because I'm catching a few more balls now hasn't changed anything.
Obviously, the patients, you tell them about beating the odds and what have you. Can you use the Hail Mary at all and say, hey, look, I beat the odds here. Can you use it to help you in the charity work or talk to the patients about it?
I think aside from, I've gotten a few messages from patients that were watching and just told me how excited they were to see it. But yeah, I tend to draw inspiration from them. They're significantly stronger than I am as a person and as a player. So they may look up to me physically because I'm taller than them, but that's probably about it in terms of drawing inspiration. I definitely get all the inspiration from them.
What were some of the things the patients let you know about?
I got a video from one of the girls in the hospital just jumping around her room and how excited she was when I caught the ball. So it's pretty cool when you see the patients, and I always hear from them that they're watching every week. So it's good that we can shine a little light, and they're always more happy when we win. So we're going to try to do that this week.
Kyle, what can you take from the first game with Chicago when you were brought in to try to chip against Khalil? What can you learn from those types of matchups and what you might want to do differently this time?
I think the biggest thing for us is not turning the ball over. You look at kind of how that game played out and where we were headed before we turned the ball over. If we get points on that first drive in the red zone, it's a completely different game. And when you go back and watch it, as bad as we felt like we played, there's still opportunities there. And I think that happens a lot in this league where you feel like, man, just everything has gone wrong. But then when you go back and watch the game, it's like a couple of things here or there situationally. So for us, it'll be huge to convert third downs if we stay on the field, sustain drives, and then obviously scoring touchdowns in the red zone, something that we say every week. That's what's going to give us the opportunity to win on Sunday.
I believe it was after the Chicago game the last time. I think you talked to Coach Zimmer about utilizing it more perhaps and all that. What did they kind of do to hold you down, or what happened in that game? You can reverse and hopefully, do better on your account.
Well, Khalil Mack's still on their team, so obviously we'll pay a lot of attention to him. That hasn't changed. But yeah, so it was right after that game last. I guess it was towards the end or mid-November. I felt like I just wasn't being utilized to my potential, and we had our talk that everyone knows about, and I feel like we're hitting our stride now as an offense, and everyone's being used. So, for us, if we don't turn the ball over and we convert third downs, that gives us more plays. And when we get more plays, we have opportunities to get the ball to Dalvin, to Latavius, to Adam, to Stephon. So there's a lot of playmakers on this offense. And, I've talked to you guys after every game, and I say how tough we are to defend when we use everyone. So it's not just about me. It's about using everybody. And we can't use everyone if we're going 3 and out because we just don't get enough plays.
But is the Detroit game an example of when teams double feeling, pick your poison and then you're open more?
Yeah, I think there's multiple examples throughout the last couple of weeks. We have a lot of playmakers on offense, and you can't guard everybody.
How much has the change in coordinator and play caller helped kind of distribute the ball more evenly?
It's definitely helped. I felt like Kevin's done a great job, and we've all said it, simplifying things, allowing us to go out and play fast, but also getting everyone involved. You look at the last couple of games, the balance that we've had on offense, being able to stick with the run, taking advantage of play action and boots and stuff like that. So Kevin's done a really good job the last couple of weeks, and like I said, we got to stay on the field because the more opportunities he has, the more balanced we can stay.
Are you able to tell going into a game, this could be a big game for tight ends, or this one for running backs or receivers? Is there any predictability to that?
Not really. I mean, you can watch all the tape you want and watch the matchups and how they've played other guys, but especially as a tight end, there's so many different roles and hats that we wear throughout the course of a game. You just don't know. Like last week, I had no idea that I'd have my most productive game of the year. The first time we played him, I had 2 catches on 2 targets, I think. So it was the exact same defense. They didn't have any changes. But for whatever reason, yesterday was my day.
Are you drawing from any experience maybe from 2012 to seeing who was the other side?
Yeah.
Or are you sharing you guys have
I think the biggest thing that I'm excited about is, like 2012, we're at home. We get an opportunity to play in front of our fans in the best home atmosphere in the league, and it's going to be a playoff atmosphere at 3:30 on Sunday. And I'm glad that they have to come to our house.
As you've gotten to know Kirk over the years, learn his leadership, how he approaches things, what is it about him in these big games? I mean, how does he get up for them? He said he likes the butterflies. He actually feels like he feels better with them. How do you know?
Yeah, if you don't have butterflies, you're probably in the wrong business. And if anyone stood up here and said that they don't get butterflies or they're not a little nervous for big games, they're probably lying to you. So it's that's the competitiveness in Kirk that I talk about all the time. He's one of the biggest competitors that I've been around. He wants to go out and he wants to play well in these big games. So he'll be fine. I don't worry about him. I'm excited to go out and watch this offense as a whole play well in a big game on the national stage when we have an opportunity to get in the playoffs.
There's so much turnover in the NFL, so for a player who's been here for so long, having so many different quarterbacks over the last few years with different personalities, like how guys get up for games, what they're like in the huddle, is that challenging for players? Like, in dealing with so many different types of personalities over the years?
Not really. For the most part, quarterbacks are very similar. They're very calm and collected, and not getting too high, not getting too low, trying to be that steady influence for the entire offense. And I think back to guys, whether it was Christian, Sam, Teddy, just flatline all the time. And Kirk gets fired up, but for the most part, he's that steady guy all the time. He's not getting too high, not getting too low, and that's what you need out of your quarterback and leader of your offense.
How big of a responsibility do tight ends feel to kind of help make sure that Kirk is protected?
We have as big of a responsibility as the offensive line, as the running backs, as the receivers. So, it's our responsibility as an offense. And we have a comprehensive plan to go into the game and make sure that he's accounted for on every play. But that's how it is anytime you're playing an elite pass rusher.
Is there any predictability as to which side he's coming from?
No.
So how do you deal with that?
Like I said, you have to use everybody. It's not just something where you can say like, hey, you're responsible for him. Well, what if he's not on your side? So for us, we have a plan, and we'll do our best to execute it.
Along the lines of blocking, how tough are the Bears to run against, and how important will it be Sunday?
It'll be big to run the ball, but again, I go back to we got to convert third downs because we won't get opportunities to run the ball if we're going 3 and out. I felt like in the last game, we obviously got behind on the scoreboard, and we went 3 and out a lot. So, they're really hard to run the ball when you're not on the field because we can't run the ball. So we have to sustain drives. We have to stay on the field. That'll allow us, if we convert third downs, now essentially we get 2 more cracks at runs. So that's been the same story all year. That doesn't change just because we're playing good defense. I feel like when we've had success in the run game, I sit here in front of you guys and tell you that, well, we got a lead, we started fast, and we converted third down, so we got more opportunities. So that's not going to change on Sunday.
Is that four hands approach on Mac? I mean, I know that it sounds easier or harder. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it sounds like it's easier in concept than it actually is. Is that the case?
No, absolutely, because he's not just going to let you double team him. He's going to try to pick one guy and beat you. So, that's something that these elite rushers in the NFL, you see it a lot of times. Guys like Khalil, Aaron Donald in LA, they're getting double teamed almost every single play. Yet they're so good at just picking one guy and beating him. Yeah, it makes it easy. Like, hey, let's just put four hands on him on every play, and we won't have to worry about him. But that's not the case.
Hey, Kyle, you brought up third downs a couple times. What's the toughest part about Chicago, other than Khalil Mack, in terms of converting those against them?
The other Pro Bowl alternate and Pro Bowl that they have on the front, Leonard is a great rusher as well, and Akeem, and they've got a lot of guys that can get after the quarterback. Both those linebackers cover pretty well, so that front seven makes it really, really hard when you have an instinctive secondary who's making every opportunity play they can. I mean, I feel like every time I'm watching the tape, it's interception, touchdown, fumble recovery, touchdown. So they're just they're making a lot of plays, and again, it goes back to turning the ball over. We have to take care of the ball. Can't give them any gifts. You got to make them earn it.